So before we get right into this video, first off, I'll start off by saying I myself am a parent, so it will be done with taste and we are in no way trying to offend anybody. But the rumors have been out there. Did Shebeshkt sacrifice his daughter for money and fame? Now, who is Shebeshkt? So Shebeshkt is a popular South African rapper who, rose to prominence around 2022 for his hit song Ambulance and some other songs that went viral on TikTok. He came around the music scene sometime around 2021. So recently, about 3 months ago, Shebeshkt was involved in a very fatal car accident that took the life of his daughter. So now there were 3 people in the car. It was him, his daughter, and the daughter's mom. It is worth noting that earlier in the year, around January, he was involved in another car accident where he was driving by himself. The car was totally written off and nobody was hurt. So Shebeshkt now ironically had a hit song called Ambulance. And here he is now attending his daughter's funeral in an ambulance because, he was still recovering from some of the damage that he himself took. So now here are some things that stood out to me that made me think, wow, could there be something extra to this story? So Exhibit A, if you see the clothes that he was wearing when the accident happened, so you can see him with some white, with some red. Now, for anyone who knows anything about the occult, usually when they do sacrificial rituals, those are the colors that they use. It's either black, white, or red. Black could represent power and mystery and so forth. Red obviously represents blood, and white could represent purity. So in this case, his daughter is the one who lost her life. Could it be that she was the pure one, she was the purest one in the car, and therefore lost her life? Exhibit B is how he reacted and so forth. There was a time when people thought he had lost his leg in the car, and he made a weird post on X, which was formerly known as Twitter, talking about if it was just his leg, that could have been enough, but not his daughter being taken as well. So let's look at Kabbalah. What does Kabbalah have to do with this? Well, I'm going to explain in a few minutes. Well, Kabbalah is a type of Jewish mysticism that tries to explain the spiritual nature of the universe and our connection to it. It's about understanding deep spiritual truths and how God's energy flows into the world. So basically, you get a lot of celebrities that are a part of this new age religion. You can recognize them by the little red string or bracelet that they wear, So a lot of them have been connected or associated with devil worship, Freemasonry, and the Illuminati as well. I hate to bring up Illuminati because a lot of people think it's a joke, but it is what it is. So in Kabbalah, they also do believe in something called gematria. So gematria is a form of numerology where numbers are given a specific meaning, all right? So it's very interesting to note and see what these numbers actually mean. So for example, the number 9 is quite respected because in Kabbalah, it is the last single digit before the numbers become double and triple digits and so forth. So here's what the number 9 means. So since 9 is the final single digit, it can represent the idea of ultimate truth or completion of a journey or process. So now why am I bringing up the number 9? Because his daughter died when she was about to turn 9. Keep that in mind. She died in June, which is the 6th month of the year, which is basically an inverted 9. And the date was June 9th as well. So now you have 3 9s. She was about to turn 9. She died in June, which is an inverted 9, and she died on the 9th. And to make matters worse, Shebeshkt himself is 27 years old. 2 plus 7 equals 9 once again. And now if you add all of those 9s, so you get 9, 18, 27, 36, and you add the 3 and the 6, it still comes back to 9. And in this mystic religion of Kabbalah, the number 9 is seen as a number of completion of a process. Now, let's look at Shebesht's albums. He has only released 2 albums so far, and they're both titled The Journey of Shebeshkt or Shebesht's Journey. So he's got Shebesht's Journey Volume 1 and Volume 2 is out there. And the number 9 just happens to also represent an end of a journey or a process. In fact, we could go on to explain the number 9 as well. It says over here, number 9 represents the penultimate stage before reaching the highest, which is the Keter. So basically, number 9 also represents you reaching a stage before you basically blow up or go to the next level. Are we going to see Shebeshkt going to the next level after this as well? Who knows? Let's go further. The mystical significance of number 9 also comes from the mathematical properties. For example, any number that is a multiple of 9 will result back to 9 as well. In some interpretations, 9 can represent judgment and wisdom. Is this in an occultic way? Who knows? And since 9 is closely tied to 3, which is a number of balance and harmony in Kabbalah, 9 is considered to be triple balance. And it's quite interesting to see that the number 3 has now come as well, because his daughter was actually a grade 3 learner, and 9 represents basically 3 times of what that 3 is. Now, I was looking up what kind of colors that are also used in the occultic rituals and so forth. Yes, white was there, and his daughter's casket also just happens to be white. Could this be an indication that somebody pure was actually sacrificed? Another thing to note as well is that Shebeshkt was from the northern province, and there's a place called Limpopo. Anyone who's from South Africa or Southern Africa knows that the amount of witchcraft that takes place in Limpopo is mind-boggling. In fact, it is known as the witchcraft capital in South Africa. For example, if you are in the United States, it would be like a New Orleans, for example. New Orleans in the south of America is known as a place where a lot of voodoo had taken place because of the slaves that came to America and Haiti and so forth. In the world, people know Haiti is the place of voodoo. You know what I mean? If you're in Zimbabwe, for example, it would be like a Chipinge. I'm sure every country has this place where, a lot of spiritual activity takes place. So in South Africa, it's actually Limpopo. And this is where this guy comes from. And the guy was actually, I believe, on his way there as well to perform for a political party or something like that. So, everything is pointing towards this guy having sacrificed his daughter. Now, on another note, I was watching a video. So this video is from a channel that is called Confessions Hub. It's basically people who dabbled into the occult, witchcraft, and so forth, and now they're there to confess their wrongdoings. And of course, they will do this all anonymously because some of them have done horrible things, but they just want to get it off their chests. Now, funny enough, this particular video that I came across was a guy who was a mechanic. So long story short, this guy bought a garage and he went out of business, and his aunt took him somewhere to some medicine man or herbalist, someone who could help him, quote unquote, help him with his business. And then it turns out that every customer who had ever come into this guy's garage would then go on to be involved in a car accident. In fact, I will put a snippet of the video and a link as well if you want to go watch it. This guy does recall one case of a guy who came to his garage right after he had done some rituals around the garage. So this guy, a customer, came into the garage because he was about to go on a family trip, on a road trip with his family. And only to find out weeks later that this guy was involved in a car accident and his whole family died and only he survived as the man, as the father. So this guy that's confessing goes on to give another story and he says, I'm confessing because I just recently saw that another one of my clients, who happens to be a famous South African artist, but he wouldn't name the name, was also involved in a car accident right after coming to my shop.
A South African artist who had recently visited my shop to install a sound system in his new car. He has been involved in a devastating accident. I had worked on his car.
And if you look at the time when this video was released, it's around the same time that Shebeshkt had the accident and his daughter died as well. So is it possible that when the one guy who goes to these herbalists or sangomas, nyanga, fetish doctors, mystery men, magic men, whatever you want to call them, this guy goes there to save his dying garage business. So basically he's now dealing with the devil and he's providing blood or sacrificing people for his business to go on. Is it possible that the devil kind of does, like what banks do? I deposit money into an account and then the bank uses that same money to lend it to somebody else. Is it possible that that's what the devil does? If you sell your soul to the devil as an artist, and somebody else who's not connected to you sold his soul to keep his garage afloat, is it possible that the devil just takes this one's daughter and sacrifices her so that this guy can get money, and then eventually this guy with the garage is also going to lose something and is going to go to somebody else who had sold their soul to the devil? I mean, is it possible that's what he's doing? I mean, if it makes sense to anyone, let me know. But yeah, these are the points that I can produce at the moment, and you guys let me know what you think.